right, and then Tudor's instructions are download the new version of this toolkit.
I just did. Yeah, I have to open it up now.
And do I just overwrite the old version? By the way, Eric, I have to say I saw your planet down with like the diameter and of the planets, like flipping awesome.
Thank you. I actually, over the break, I had my daughter working on it a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. It's no, sorry. She has, she doesn't use computers much, so a lot of it is just all about typing speed and mousing.
And what made you think it was appropriate for your daughter, given all that?
Because I wanted to work on it and I needed to be with her. So, it seems somewhat educational.
Nice.
To have her doing planets and, looking up on Wikipedia, the radius of the planet.
That's good.
So,
let's see here. Maybe while I'm downloading this, I can give an update on what I was working on. Let's see here. Can I pull up my code?
So when I'm loading the repos from the former image. And do I have to load the baseline thing? Is there some code I have to run, or should it just work if I include the baseline?
What do you expect to do?
I want to get the code that's in the Git repo from my old, so that I can load it into this image.
And you have a baseline there.
I do. And I remember you pasted something into the Slack that was like some code to run.
Right. So it's something metacello new and then baseline. So if you ran it once, you should have that one in your pages already. So
in my pages.
In your local Lippiter, basically. So if you do Shift Enter metacello.
Shift Enter.
If you share your screen, it's easier.
Yeah. Okay. I'll share it. Hold on.
I can't find my code.
Your code.
All right. So
doesn't GitHub have it? Metacello.
Metacello.
Okay, and then put a space because you see you have classes and packages, and pages are somewhere at the bottom. So you can say hash pages if you have any
pages.
Okay, so you probably haven't executed any of it, but that's just, there's a how to work with GitHub. No, it's there. It's right there.
Oh, sorry.
There was a page.
Moving on. How to work with GitHub. Hold on.
And yeah, so that's in the book, right? And you can see there's like a script like here. So maybe copy that one and execute it in your own page, and then give it a name so that you can find it easier next time.
But this is to load it from the repo.
Yeah. Isn't this what you wanted?
I've been going into Morphic and loading it from there.
So if you, first of all, if you're, one of the things we have worked on, it was a productive holiday season. So one of the things we worked on is Git integration. So latest version of GT would have more of this, but in any case, you don't want to manually manipulate.
No, I don't.
Repositories. So just a script like this way, you're created the baseline so that you can basically, with a single script, you load everything, register the repository
Got it.
in Git and so on.
Okay.
So just take
Should I
this
do
one,
it
copy
now?
this one.
Even though I
Yeah,
already have
copy
it
this one.
loaded? Execute? Wait, I can just edit it?
No,
Is that what you
don't do
said?
it here.
Okay,
Don't do it here because here, this is in the Glamorous Toolkit book, Lepiter.
right.
You want to do it in your own, in another playground, maybe. And just have a page which is just dedicated with this and then say, okay, baseline is going to be, I don't know what the name of the class is.
I don't remember either. Eric? No.
No, it should be baseline of something.
Baseline of Eric. Okay.
Oh, there it is. Okay, it's Eric. And then you put your GitHub and then afterwards is your username. And then is the name of the repository under which you committed it on GitHub.
I think that's right.
So, right. So if you execute this one, it will could not resolve baseline of Eric. Is it committed in Git like this?
Let me pull up my GitHub.
Do I just copy?
Oh, Eric Normand. Ha. I don't even know my own username.
Baseline of Eric. So it says that it doesn't find it in
Well, it's SRC baseline of Eric.
no. Yeah, go inside. Baseline of Eric class. Eric Normand. Is that correct? And then we have solar-system. And then we have SRC. Do we have SRC?
Yeah.
So is this a newer version of GT or an older one?
I just downloaded it.
You just downloaded it. And how did you load then the code? Because you already have baseline of Eric loaded.
I went through Morphic, so I went here, I went browse, iceberg,
Yeah.
add, import from existing clone, and I
But you
selected-
cloned it. How did you do? How did you clone it? You already cloned it with the command line?
No, all through iceberg.
But from existing clone, it means that the clone already existed on disk.
From the last repo. Yeah, from the
so
last
this one actually
image.
points to another folder that is not
Yeah.
under your current.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, could we try just starting it from scratch and just to see how it would be just by running that script again?
Sure.
So basically closing the image.
Yeah,
if
I
it's
haven't
not
saved
with
it.
this.
So yeah. Okay. And
Can we
so-
go also quickly in the file system just to
Yeah.
make sure that it's as if it's a clean image? So Pharo local, iceberg.
There's no
I don't-
iceberg in there.
There's no iceberg. That's great. Okay, what is package cache? Can delete that one.
Okay.
Yeah, delete that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Just run this.
Yeah.
Boom. That out of the way. Let's make this full screen. Okay. So now I should have.
Just a second. So yeah, if you're now searching for Metacello, but-
Cello. And on a pages, I should have that saved automatically, right? Oops.
yeah,
Pages.
that
This
one, the last one. Right. If you give it a name, it's easier to find afterwards.
Loader.
But
Like that? What should I call it?
yeah, load Eric or something.
Load Eric. Boom.
But
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why your database is red here.
This
Yeah. The
documents
corrupted
Lepiter
files
default.
there. It's not nice of it. We can take a look at it a little later. So
Okay. Should I just run this?
Yeah. Let's see if this works.
Master, not file.
That's okay. That's great. So close this one because you have
That's
to
good.
specify it. You created it recently. By default, it was
Oh, it's got
master.
main
We're
now.
now main, which is great. So solar system colon main.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
Is that the official GitHub Git notation? Colon is a branch name.
Yeah.
so it's the same as before.
I can see. But okay, so let's scroll a bit lower. Can you look in this? There's this package spec variable on the right. Something with
Package
spec name
spec.
baseline of Eric. And just double click on it. So, I'm curious what's in this baseline of Eric. Oh.
You want to see it in GitHub?
But let's open a Git repository because I think that should exist at least. So if you go to GT and then, or here as well. Spec common to baseline of Eric. What can it be? Because I don't see anything. Baseline of Eric, solar system, SRC. Maybe the only thing that could be that is maybe the SRC is not the spec for common spec. So the problem here is, I see, you have a, you actually have a circular
Typo?
dependency.
Oh,
No, you have a circular dependency because you have said, instead of saying self-spec, so spec package, Eric, you said spec baseline, Eric. Baseline is a dependency to another project.
wait, I
In
don't. Here.
Right there,
Oh,
right there.
okay. So I edit this. What should I change it to?
Yeah, so it should be package.
Package.
With
Oh,
if you're editing this one in GT, it's easier to. So we can say actually you don't have. Okay, commit.
Okay, there it is. So I should be able to load it now.
Well, the issue now is that your this will
Package cache.
you already have it. Yeah, you already have it. Check. You already have it in your local disk now. So.
And it won't load it fresh.
This won't fetch. No.
Should I just
How
delete the
could it?
packet, the iceberg directory?
Yeah. This is the easiest thing, or you update it. You can also go and fetch and pull.
Right.
So if you go on GT and.
Wait, I'm just gonna.
this
I just
won't-
deleted it. I just want to see it work like fresh.
Ah,
But that
okay,
looks
there
like it
is.
worked.
Apparently.
Yes. Let's see.
Eric.
Wait, I want to see there.
Hey,
That's my playground, but I should be able to do. Yeah, there it is. It's working. Boom. And I have a
Fascinating,
planet
isn't
view.
it?
Boom.
that's so good.
So one thing we did that I don't know if we saved it or not is we put the name underneath. My daughter and I worked through
Right
that.
on.
But I guess I took that out.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Self view. See, this is where it's been a few weeks now. I can't remember how to do these things.
To do what? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's new.
Right. So I would add a new line, like a name line. Sorry. So thanks for helping me get that loaded. We can
Yeah.
move on.
No.
to-
Keep going. I'm
Did
I'm
I?
gonna need some help
Okay.
too.
Is there a way to pop this out into its own?
Yeah, with Command B, right? So this didn't change. You can just peek into it now.
Command B. But what do I
No,
click
yeah,
on to
either
get?
yeah,
There we
either
go.
there or on the class name, Command B.
If I'm here?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Right. And so this is a thing that feels a little weird to me, is like I'm having trouble where I want to be doing more live coding. And it seems like the more indirections I put between, like this calls to this message and then that, like I now cannot get to where I want to be and see it at the same time, right? Because here I am, I have this view, which to see it, I have to actually go all the way back here, or even all the way back to the first one and hit inspect again. And because it's going to generate a new class or new instance, right? And I would like to be able to edit here and see the changes here. Does that make sense?
Right, but you don't want to edit on the left and then see the changes on the right. Would you, or necessarily, right? Sometimes you can edit changes on the right and see changes on the left because, you know.
Yeah, sure.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I mean, at the same time is what I want to do.
Right. So, but you have to do a little work here. So if you think about the typical environments where you just have left and right things, right? Everything is flat.
Yes.
Which means that like you can't move around. You can't go 3 levels deep and then see what you do. You know, like you can't. That's not in the menu. So that's why also why most demos are about the superficial things that people see. So widgets, for example, or some visualizations, that things that are already visual. They lend themselves to that kind of view. But now here you're saying I actually have 2 or 3 levels deep. Or I have to go 2 or 3 levels deep. But then you learn something and then you can come back and resume those things. So here, actually, you don't necessarily need everything. The question here is, how do you get this view data for? So you had, can you go one
here?
One to the left. You have the view.
Yeah.
Right. So here you have the view. So if I'm now going one to the left, I'm not going one to the left, one like where I'm seeing I have my object and I have the self view for data. And now I open the playground, the object playground on the left
at the
for the
bottom?
planet.
On this
one. Not for the method, but for the planet, right? And I'm gonna do now here self view for planet data.
Oh. View for. Why isn't it not?
I don't know exactly. Yeah, that's one of those things that we're working on now. Yeah, and inspect. You want to inspect this? Inspect. Okay. So now I have the planet data view.
Right. So I'm not in the planet.
Now you want to work on it. Now you want to work on it. It's also already interesting that you have the same view. So I guess that the planet actually delegates to the planet data view, or maybe the other way around. Which is nice. Yeah, probably the other way around. So now you can take, if you want to work on planet data view, you can just go to the meta tab of the planet data view.
Wait, this one? No, this one.
That one.
Where's the meta tab? How do I get?
Scroll.
You have to scroll horizontally.
Swipe.
I don't have. I have a mouse.
Yes.
Shift vertical scroll.
I'm doing that, and it's not. Shift vertical
you have
scroll.
Shift vertical scroll. That should work.
No, it's not doing anything. So if I do plus, I get more room.
Yeah, no, yeah. So shift vertical scroll, or should.
It's not.
What kind of mouse is that?
The Logitech. I got a scroll wheel here.
That should work.
That's funny. I have a.
Oh, it's got this.
Ball.
Oh, there we go. It's got the left and right. The scroll wheel. I never use it, but you can push it left and right. Okay. All right. So now I'm in meta. But will that change this one?
Well, probably not. But still, right?
So it's not live yet. Okay.
Well, wait. Because now press the I button on the, because like you already did the interesting step. So here you have a view,
Yes.
But in the live here for the planet view, you also had the same view.
Right.
So, which means that here, if I'm now going to press on, if I'm going to inspect the same object again.
This one? Oh,
Yeah.
this eye.
Yeah.
Ah.
Now I have the same object here and
Yeah.
here. And now I have code here and view here.
Okay. No, this is what I wanted. Yeah. I've just been
So-
digging and digging, and then I'm like, but I'm too far away
But-
from where I.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
No,
but this
is
is why,
cool.
right? So, and this is why, that's why we are saying like you can, it's like a drilling
Yeah.
exercise, right? So you drill a bit, you make room, then you drill some more and you make
Right,
some
right,
more room,
Right.
and you bring all the equipment with you all the time.
Sure.
Because the more you dig, right? So if I go 2-3 levels deep, then I'm lost because I just have these dry objects. There's nothing there, right? But if I
Right.
bring my equipment with you with all the views and I consolidate what I have, everything becomes much more manageable. And that's basically what you're having here. And then once you're consolidating something at the, you have drilled somewhere deep, then you go up you pop the stack basically.
Right. Okay. So I want to add a child here. Add child view name line. No, name text, I should call it. Other ones are called text, name text. Okay. Let's see. Now
Let's see if
it's
this
not.
one works. So if you save this, okay. Do you have
Save it.
a self-named text?
I do not.
Right? Right.
And I wanted it to tell me, hey, you could add this. So
Yeah,
I
but
guess I
it's
have
not
to
that. Let me see.
view
Yeah, it could, but
name text. Okay.
but here you're in the class side,
Oh.
right? So yeah, we could resolve
Oh.
it. This would be something we could resolve, but name text should be created here somewhere.
Yeah, I want to be able to like just click it and it makes it, but I can do it here. Name text, and I get rid of this.
Just return a BL element new for now, just to have something that exists.
BL
Return.
return. It's been a while. BL element.
Yeah, it's just something to have.
Something, yes. Okay.
Right. So now if you inspect this one again.
Inspect this one.
Yeah, or press this button. Yeah, or like, then it should see if this one works. Then it should basically see a new
thing, but it doesn't have any geometry or any color or anything. Maybe the color.
But you didn't add anything to this, so we don't know if this actually works. But actually, there's a interesting thing. How is this one called? How is this one working?
How's this? How is what one working?
So your planet data view, okay, that's a BL element. Oh, that's why you have that one. I see. So the issue, you're going to have an issue here because this one is going to show you, this instance here is going to show you the element that you already have in the previous, so here on the left, in the first pane, second pane.
The planet, I think the planet has a name.
No, but
No.
so if you go here.
If I go, oh, here, sorry,
Here.
there's a lot of drawing going on. Okay.
So what this one here is, you have just embedded here the live element. But an element can only have a single parent. It cannot have more than a parent.
Okay.
So once an element is being added to the scene, you cannot redraw it in another place. So if you go
Okay.
now to the right, so to the last pane that you have in your
Right,
session,
that's why it's in a
you will
box.
see here, it says here at the bottom, you see a
Oh, a
static
static
preview because the
preview.
element already has a parent.
Right. Okay.
So, and the other thing to know here is that here you're modifying new width, which is the constructor, but you're not calling this method again. So actually here it's more interesting to open here a playground and say self new width and then pass some planet here.
Some
So
planet. Okay.
work on
So
this, on just on this level here.
self new with Earth.
Right, but you need the colon.
Oh, you're right. Boom.
And also Earth doesn't exist here.
It doesn't exist here.
No.
It's in the playground.
Or you can go to the left.
Okay. It's starting, it's feeling a little like it's a lot of work to set up a live editing.
No, it's
No?
not. It's just that you just need to, you just that when you need to accommodate an arbitrary amount of depth, you kind of need to know what you're doing, right? It's kind of
Right.
like it's like with programming. So, but the question is, like most tools will give you a level and you can do that level super, super quick. But then it stops exactly there, right? Afterwards, it just stops. You can't do anything else. So here you have more than a level and you wanted to do more than a level. And so now we need to learn, how do you navigate with the same tools that you do one level, but how do you navigate and now do 2 or 3? That's the only difference. So it's not more, it's just different. There's no Earth in this playground that you have there, right?
There's Earth here. That's not what it's saying. It's saying the new width does not exist.
Yeah, because it's not self. It's going to be, because here you have an actual, this is probably not so interesting. So going one to the
because I'm in the
left to the
meta
planet.
view.
Yeah, but the object is still a planet data view.
There we
Yeah,
go.
you can do this, right? Or
Uh-huh.
now you can actually do. Let's make it simpler now.
Okay.
So let's go one to the left here.
Okay. No, one to the left. This one.
This is okay. And so
Yeah.
now here in this, instead of doing self view for planet data, we're going to do exactly this one, the code from here, planet data view, new with self, or do that one.
Take this
Yeah.
and make a new playground with it.
Yeah, you actually have, no, it's actually good. It
Okay.
works.
Oh, there it is.
No, it's the same. It's not going to be any difference here.
Okay. New with self. Okay. But I'm in meta. Let me go to live. Okay.
Right. But so in this case, I was not, it doesn't make any sense what I'm saying. So it's easier now to either, if you want to have left and right necessarily in this case, you can either take this code directly in the playground on the left, or if you want to have both the editor, so planet data view, and the preview of the view quickly, then you can, if you want to see left and right quickly, then you can actually browse the planet data view in the class. So just, yeah, and then do the same code from here, like at this bottom. So here you'll have the editor, and then you will gonna play with the preview with some interesting thing. Okay, not self, but your Earth thing.
Oh, I got it. Okay, so I got to go get Earth again. Boom.
Yeah, if this is what you want to set up, then you would do something of this nature.
Yeah, I might
So this
want
would
both.
work.
I might want both. It's true. So hold on. Let me.
It's like, it's up to you to how you're gonna set that one.
Yeah. Okay, so I got Earth. Uh-oh. What is that? It's not understand.
Well, that's a
Binding on.
bug. No, you found the bug. Let me quickly check this one.
Earth. No.
How did you find this one? I don't know how you found this bug.
I don't know either. Okay. I feel like I want to take.
I found it.
You did?
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Yes, we have an open bug for it. Yes, it's new.
So I'm gonna put, where's my Earth? See, my daughter did all these, the Venus, Saturn, Jupiter.
That's
It's
impressive, Eric.
lovely.
She had to choose the colors, you know. Let me just show one of them.
That's awesome.
How cool is that?
It's super cool.
She's got a gift.
All right, so let me go down below Earth. I'm gonna
Mhm.
make a new one.
How old is your daughter?
She's 9.
Nice.
Earth. And boom. All right. So now I should be able to go in here.
Yeah.
Okay, but I already added this. Now I need to edit this.
Right. So
Can't.
here you can't. It won't work. So
Okay,
well.
so you know
yeah,
what I'm gonna
so-
do? I'm gonna make a new playground. I'm gonna assign this PDV, and I'll do PDV name text,
Yeah.
and now, oh, I didn't run this one. Okay,
Mhm.
and now I can run this one. Okay,
Yeah.
now,
Now you can.
yes,
Right. So exactly what you see what you've done here. You narrowed your scope. You
narrowed
found
it,
what you have,
right.
and
I
now
dug,
the
I
tools
just-
start to
yeah.
help you.
I dug, and then I'm like, okay, I know where I'm going.
So it takes a bit of time to get used to it, but the process is going to be repetitive. It's absolutely always the same, and it just becomes, you're just going to do it. You have 2 or 3, 4 variations, and that's pretty much it.
I want mass tag. I'm gonna just start with this here. Boom. So now I should be able to save that, run this again. There we go. And oops, closed. And then I have this thing popped up. I don't know how to get rid of it now.
Escape.
I'm hitting escape.
And if you double click on it,
Double click on the. I don't know why I keep hitting all the bugs. This
Oh
is,
my
I mean,
God.
this is, yeah. Okay. So let's see. I have the view. It shouldn't say Earth masses. It should just say the name, planet name. As string. Don't need to
you
do
probably
that.
don't need a string, I guess.
Okay. And let's just see what that looks like now. No. Didn't work. Planet name. I think it does need
But-
to add string.
Why don't you go to the, how can it possibly?
Go to the what? Ah, I'm getting so many of these. Oh no.
But when did you get them? You get them when you close?
I get
or
them when
you
I typed
open?
as string, and then I just hit save without hitting enter or anything like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, I'm just, that's just
Yeah.
like a habit. Like, oh, they'll go away when I'm done. When I click away, or I just click away. All right. So why isn't this showing? Undefined object. Wait a second. Why is that an undefined object? View. It should be in there.
The problem is that you're selecting name text and you're just executing name text.
Oh. Okay. Planet did not understand name. Really? It has name.
Apparently.
Oh, okay. It has the name colon, but it doesn't have name. Okay. Easy. Boom. Now look, I hit save. Oh no.
Enter.
Oh,
Enter.
okay.
Yeah.
I hit
Right. The
escape.
problem is when this when the editor disappears.
Aha. Okay. So now I can go back here. Boom. And it's putting it there. It's in the wrong spot.
Eric, I applaud your desire to get the 2 side-by-side things working. I mean, that's pretty awesome that you're now
I
doing
wanted,
it.
yeah, I mean, I was doing a lot of tabbing. Like I would open up the class in another tab and then look
Yeah, that's
back and
great.
click a button here. And it was
Like the
getting-
payoff is huge.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. But I realized that I need to do the digging and then come back to my playground and just be comfortable, like going down to a single tiny one message call, see, make sure that that's working. It's like what you do in the REPL, you know, you're like, I just need to see this piece of the expression and and play with that for a while. Okay,
And some
go ahead.
so
Sorry.
similar things would happen. So right now you're just doing elements, which is not so interesting to test, although can be. But the more when you go into logic, then you can do the same kinds of exercises with examples.
Sure.
So you'll be writing examples and then seeing a preview.
No, wait.
So
How'd
the
you do
example
that?
becomes your.
Oh, I just changed. It's radius 2 times the radius, so that would be the y, you know, down there, and then I want to add a little bit 10. Boom. So I save it
that's great.
here and I run it up here. There we go. Now see what I mean when it's not live. I do have to run it again.
Yeah.
Just that's a thing. And oh, can you help me with the thing? Because I couldn't figure it out. How do I center it? Because what happens is I'll show you my attempt at debugging this thing. Let's say I go here. I'm gonna go here, and I what do you press? How do you get the
Control Alt Shift click.
Alt Shift?
Control Alt Shift.
Oh, Control Alt Shift. Aha. All right. So I look at, wait, I want that one. Right. So where's the text element? Right. Okay, that one's fine. If I look at the overview, it has an extent. Right.
Yeah.
It's 75.05 wide, 13 tall. Right. But when I, oh, those got moved up there. When I do the relocate, if I put so if I want to make it centered, see now I have 0 over 2.
Can I see what's the layout of the parent?
The layout of the parent. How do I?
Yeah,
what do
of
you?
Does it have? Do you rely on layout or is it just a basic layout?
I don't know. I don't have any layout.
Yeah, you can Control Alt Shift click on that one. You'll see. Planet data view. Yeah. Well, or because that's an interesting. I see. You're just drawing everything. Just a second. Layout basic. Okay, so you're not relying on layouting at all. You're just assembling your.
I'm assembling it, and when
manually.
I run this relocate, the width is 0. So if I do at this point view extent X, it's not going to move any. It didn't move. Like the X is 0 at this point. And then I guess later when it gets actually added to the parent and then drawn, it gets a width. So when I inspect it late, after it's all drawn, it does have a width. And I would like to know, how do you make it always centered? As the text width changes, if I should be able to dynamically set the text and it should just stay centered.
Right. So I understand the challenge here. So there are 2 ways to handle this. Either like you're doing, which is manually assembling your scene.
Okay.
Or you're relying on a layouting ability of the. So there's a layout engine where you're assembling you're assembling elements right now and you're putting them on the scene, but you're not relying on so either you have like, for example, in the memory game tutorial, right there, you're creating an element but you're drawing on the canvas of that element. And then
Okay.
you're doing all your computations by drawing on that one. Here you're assembling elements. Now, typically the way you assemble elements is by relying on a layout that will
And so
assemble.
instead of doing a relocate, the layout decides where
The
it
layout
goes?
does that, right? So you, depending on whatever layout you would offer
But
here.
it's
So
not a regular
example,
layout like a grid. It's like I want this here, I want that there.
right. So
Or-
if you know now, if this is what you say, but for example, here you're saying I want this one below this. So there's already a layout there.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. You're also saying I want this one about 2/3 or 1/3 from the top
Yeah.
and centered in the middle. That's also a layout, right? So all of these ones, they kind of add up to
Okay. So how do I
being
do a
actually
layout?
layoutable.
How can I see an interesting layout
So,
that I could figure out?
so you can,
copy?
if you, so this may be a simple thing. We can just take a look at, for example, I don't know, BL flow layout examples or something. Oh, let's just
This one?
examples. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
layout. Right, so let's see if this is something
going,
we
I'll be right
want.
back.
So how do we run? So here, what do we see here?
This is a GT example.
How do we read examples when we have a class like this?
Oh. No. That doesn't help.
Yeah, no, we were in the right place.
Those circles, I don't know how to read that diagram. I've looked at it before and it's always confusing.
So let's try to delete these
Yeah.
things. So can you click
I
on
clicked
something?
it. I hope it didn't go change the code.
No, it did. Well, it probably did, but it doesn't matter. You didn't save anything, so.
Okay.
Okay, so here, if you go to the examples map, so remember, these are examples. And an example is just a method. So an example here, these examples, the floating cells, relies on all of these examples, which then rely on these two examples. So you have, in this case, 2 levels of setup. Even.
Okay.
There's no setup, there's no test, they're just examples. So the way you read this one, normally if I see something like this, I say, well, the purpose of this examples class is to build up that thing on the left.
This one, right.
Yeah, so I can either click on that one, for example, and then just execute this one, see what we get.
Okay.
Or, right, and now if I say, oh, I like this, I want to know how it's built, I can go back to the visualization. And now I'm going to read it, and I'm going to read the same thing, but from right to left.
Oh, okay.
Because those are the smallest things that I need to build so that I can build the things on the left.
So we have a float cell and a cell. So let's see cell.
Right. So this is float layout, but let's flow layout. Let's take a look at some other one. Let's take a look at, so I just told you that we are talking about layouts. So now I gave you an example. Now, of course, we just guessed it, but now because if I have an example there, I can go and see, ooh, what kind of object was it used there? And we would have found BL flow layout. And then we would have browsed BL flow layout. And then we say, well, actually BL flow layout is just a layout.
I'm not following. I'm sorry. What are we? So
let's take a look at, I don't know exactly what this one is, but let's take a look at this because that's what we were looking at.
Okay.
So that's interesting. So container here is interesting, I think.
Yeah.
And I can see, oh, look at that.
Element. Now, is this in here? Must be. There it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So layout. Okay, it's going to make a flow layout, a horizontal.
Okay, and now that's the moment when I'm going to browse flow layout because I want to see what other kind of layouts are possible. So how do I know? What's the query here? Well, I'm going to say, what do I know? Flow layout. Let's look around it. where do I look around it? Well, inheritance is an interesting place to look at,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe traits. I don't know if there are traits, but here I can see there's a superclass, which is called BL layout. So if I go there, and now I look at this hierarchy.
How do I look at the hierarchy? This? No, yeah, class hierarchy. Packages, BL layout.
Class hierarchy.
Oh, class hierarchy. Basic layout.
So you can see
ignore
there
them.
are a number of these
Yeah.
layouts around.
A lot of layouts.
Yeah, so here there's a
Hey, by the way,
graph
this is so
layout. Those
relevant
are-
to what I'm trying to do. This is really
Okay,
awesome.
cool.
So
flow layout.
so you can now go, of course, to each of these, look at the, because that's basically, this is the library of layouts that are potentially usable or interesting. Of course, you would need to go and see how they are doing, what they are doing. And for this
Right.
is where the examples are
They probably
interesting.
have
So you can
examples, yeah.
associate it to them. Yeah, probably. So, but I would now go to, just to make it shorter, frame layout. It's right there.
Frame.
BL frame layout.
Frame,
So then
what?
up.
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 Up more. Frame layout.
That's the one. So let's see if there are references to it.
References.
I bet there are.
Basic
I
examples.
can see there are some basic examples. Let's see what that is.
Samples map. Okay, so we have some top level examples. Shapes. Elements with shadow. No, that's not right. Elements with all borders. No.
Give it a shot. I don't know what it does.
I'm gonna do this one. This one. Ooh. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, I
that's
like
kind of
this.
something.
Add children.
Isn't it something like, it's like, look, relocate. What does it do? What kind of a thing does the container have? It kind of does what you were saying, but here we're saying it's exactly the same approach that you did. Right? A container with no layout and
Except I'm a little concerned that it's too close to what I did. It's,
yes,
you know, like it's just placing them in certain places and
exactly.
it doesn't take
Yeah.
into account their sizes.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because so this BL basic examples is just a collection of examples of many sorts.
Yeah.
So it can show you all sorts of things. But let's take a look at this frame layout and look at some other references of frame layout, because we just stopped at the first one. Or maybe we just say, we can guess.
How did what happened?
Yeah.
Frame layout references. I'm lost.
Right. So yeah, there you are. You're in the frame layout.
That was basic examples, click event, clock example. Maybe that's interesting. BL clock example. Examples map. There's the animated clock. I mean, this is what I was starting with before to figure out the rest of it. But I want to see, ooh, this might be a good query. I want to see like relocates within this class. Is that possible?
Yeah, it should be, I guess.
So can I do self methods?
No, it should be hash.
Oh, hash.
Well, yeah, start with the hash relocate GT references, I guess. Yeah, relocate colon, right? That's what you were looking at.
Relocate colon GT references. What happened? Okay, I'm clicking on it and it's not doing it.
Enter,
There.
what does enter do?
And enter worked. Okay. Boom. What about the BL atom? Bounce in. Where's relocate? Relocate. PXPY. No. Doesn't take into account.
So wait, this one gives you all of them, right? Not just the current one. So we have to still select those. from the current one. So we
How
could
do
just
I
directly say select,
select?
but we could also say maybe an end instead of select, to put an end there. And then you can say the BL clocking example, but it should be it's a string.
Oh, in a string.
With BL small caps or and then say GT class matches.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Our
So now
tip
you've
cat.
got that one that you were looking at.
Self radius. Okay, and can I also do, so these are references. Does that mean that, what does that return? Is that like a list of methods? Like, because I also want to do something like,
You can see it here, what it returns.
okay, it's a filter, but then can I
Yeah,
filter
it's
it
a filter.
again?
And then you take a look at the hierarchy view. So you can see here how this is an intersection filter. So because it's a so the intersection has a left and a right, right? It has a relocate references and it has your left and right. So the left thing is another filter probably.
GG
It's a search references filter, and then this one is probably also something like this.
Okay. But what I want to do is not relocate. I want to see extent. GT references.
Unlikely, but you can see.
I don't think.
Sure. Fine, great.
Okay, maybe I get rid of this. And it doesn't seem like, BL animation example. Well, that might be it. No, not extent, colon, extent. Position change, balance change. This is where we're getting, here's an example. Let me see what this looks like. Boom. It's doing a relocate, and the child extent, this is just an assert. But it's setting the size, relocating to 0. I want an extent in the call, in the argument to relocate.
Right. So this is going to be probably hard to find.
Yeah.
Exactly the kind of thing that you're looking for.
Okay. So I
Because it
mean,
might
is
be
this
not what we do.
Yeah, right, exactly. So like, what is the way to do it? Is it to make it like the planet has a layout, the circle has a layout, and
That would be the
inside
simplest.
it has there's some kind of centering layout for the horizontal, and then okay, so
That could be the simplest. It doesn't have to be
is that
what
a
you want to
flow
do,
layout?
but no, it's going to be probably a frame layout is more interesting for you.
Frame layout. Okay.
So
You go all the way back here. I want to see frame layout. Should I look at examples? I am a layout designed to block out an area on the screen to display a single child. I should be mainly used to display a single child as it can be difficult to display different positions on the screen without overlapping each other. However, elements with a frame layout can have multiple child elements. Okay. Well, I want to see examples. BL frame layout. I saw examples. Composition examples.
Yeah, one of those.
Oh, just called example. Oh. Match parent, align right, align bottom, align center. That's the red. Okay.
So let's see something more interesting. Maybe take a look at this one here. Let's see if this one works. Right, now maximize this view. Now you see here, instead of triangles, I have dots. This one's right.
Wait,
So click on those dots.
this?
Yeah, on each of them.
Ah, whoa, I can see all the code at the same time. Well, that's cool. Oh, I'm glad it's getting smaller because I was worried.
And then you have the yellow thing.
Okay,
Okay, and you can actually enlarge this.
enlarge this. Where do I drag?
There's a bar here.
There's this bar. Oh, I thought that was a scroll bar. Okay.
Now you can inspect this.
But they're just making boxes.
Yeah,
Background
so
color.
this
red
is just
border.
some fun too.
Yeah, no,
And then
that's
of course
cool.
you can inspect this one. It's just to see what it does.
So I like this idea of the C frame horizontal align, this one, align center, and align right. So I want to try that now. Can I jump back here and try it? Wait, how did they use it though? This is the add children. Okay. So it needs a constraint.
So you can get out of this because it's not so, maybe not necessarily interesting, but it's just one of those.
I'm going to keep this tab here so I can jump. And then what is container? Element. What is element? BL element. Okay. Right. I'm going to try this layout.
You can actually go, if you go back to the connections.
Oh, I can do that.
And you click on element here.
Wait, where is it? I lost it.
Here.
There. Oh, okay. Ah.
Now you get a picture of.
All right. Oh, way to save
So
some
again,
code there. All right. So wait, I want to do the new width.
I didn't realize I'm muted. Eric, what was that? You said way to what?
Save some code.
Oh.
Instead of doing BL element new here, they could just call self element. I'm just joking. I know a lot of people who are like, that's duplication. Yeah, but so is self element everywhere. That's duplication too. All right. Right. So I'm going to do, oh, I can't jump to these. I'll do the name text first.
You can jump to, you can say Command M and then you'll find the implementer.
That'll come this way. I wanted to do it.
Yes.
All right.
It's funny. It's interesting how quickly you want, right? Like these kinds of requests you do not have of other tools.
That's right.
That's interesting.
I thought I copy pasted this. All right, I'm gonna put this here. So I should be able to just put that there and it should still work. Yes. Ooh, but now it needs layout information, obviously. All right. Unfortunately, that closes that. I got to open it again. Right. So I'm just going to start with the name text since I already have it. And instead of relocate, let's comment that. What was it again? It was, it still does the relocate. No, that does the relocate. This one does constraints do. Just going to copy that.
So,
What?
mhm. So if you go to the previous example and maybe you want to change some things and see what it does, right?
Ah, you mean like right here, change these
Oh,
in line here? Is that what you mean? Okay, let's
Yeah.
run it. Okay. So let's say vertical, wait, I want to do horizontal align right. That's what I expected. Okay. I mean, I think I got it. The match parent, though, is probably going to stretch it. What if I change this one to align right?
So, right there now it's
Ooh.
strange because it's not the same. Like, notice how here these align right and these align right are not being sent to the same thing.
Oh, see frame. Okay. Okay, so that, and I'm assuming that that yellow is going all the way to the bottom. Just behind the green one. So I'm gonna go.
So wait, let me explain quickly. So you have two things, fit content and match parent. These are properties of every element. So fit content means I decide how large I am. Match parent decide, it's my parent decides how large I am. So in your case, you want your label to probably be fit content.
Fit content.
And
okay.
and then you the by default here, these ones are when you're saying size here, so that's the third thing. So you're saying that it has an exact size, so it's not, doesn't matter what the parent says, doesn't matter what my content say, this is my size. So the yellow thing fits everything the blue says plus the border, right? And then I have this green and red, and the green is basically here, and then the red is in the center. And so, but the red and green are specified, right? I'm saying there, so C frame, horizontal, align right, C frame, so frame layout, because the container has a frame layout. So now my children can have some constraints. So they can define a constraint that is layout specific. They can define global constraints like vertical match parent fit content. That's a global, it's common to all layouts. But I can also define things for a child that is specific to a specific layout of the parent.
Okay.
And this is pretty much how kind of all layouting frameworks work. So the parent defines the layout and the children can specify some constraints, extra constraints.
And so if the parent changes, then it will change inside.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's what I want. So I'm doing this constraints do.
what's the key for auto format?
F. Command Shift F.
Command Shift F.
Nice. Let me try this. Align center. Ooh, not that one. This one. Boom. Earth. All right. That's good. That's good. I think it's good. I'm doing, no, it's not good. I didn't expect that. It's got a layout now. It's a frame layout. And now I'm doing the name text. I'm doing align center, align center. I was expecting it to be right in the middle.
Does the parent have a frame layout?
Wait, did I
It
not
does.
save that? Hold on. No. the parent is the planet data view element, the one that NuWith creates, right?
Can
This
we
one, the view.
eliminate these spaces because they occupy a lot of space?
Sure.
Maybe Control Shift F.
Doesn't get rid of the spaces.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here not. Yes. Okay. So I have the
self
view.
new radius 200. Oh, that's setting the planet. Okay. And then I guess that's because the element actually comes out to here. This is the center of the box.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay, now that makes sense. So I need to set the extent of the size of this view, not just the radius. So let's see, size 200 at 200.
You're doing it below, right?
Doing what below?
You're setting the size.
Where? Oh. Oh, you're right.
But
right, so it's times 4. So that's the radius.
Yeah, can you remove it and just keep the radius to what it was?
Yeah. Radius was 200. And then this one, let's just, should be times 2 since it's a radius.
You're selecting, you have a selection.
Okay, now that's in the middle.
So,
Okay.
and you can work with it like this now.
Yeah.
So we can go back to the other question that you were having, right? So how you wanted this to work. And you said, I want an element, and this element, I want to reason about it based on how it will look like after it's rendered.
Yeah.
So normally UI frameworks, they are not, you don't do that, right? Either you know what you're doing, which means that you're computing everything. So for example, you're setting, oh, my label is always going to be 50 pixels wide, and then I'm doing things like that.
Sure.
Or if you necessarily want to, then you might simulate what the rendering would be, and then you can take the extent, which is possible. And it's actually an interesting experiment. It could be an interesting experiment if you want to.
And no,
but,
that's the thing. I understand. I understand why what I was doing was wrong. But I wouldn't have done that in, say, HTML or anything. That's not how I would have done it.
Well, so even in there, right? You would still, the way you would do it, you would simulate, here's a canvas, paint on a canvas, get the extent, then you would do something with it. But it's absolutely not what you want to do. So, but it's still interesting to say, how could you simulate something like this? Because this one gets us into how we are actually testing UIs. So this graphical stack comes with a testing framework that, not just testing frameworks, so like a programmatic way to exercise the UI. And it's called the BL Dev Scripter.
Okay.
And so, but we don't necessarily have to, we can come back to it at another point, but that's, so it's either this, or you're drawing everything on your own canvas.
Right.
Or you're using the layout. So maybe the layout here could be that maybe you don't have a single layout. Maybe you have a container here where the circle and the earth are in a vertical layout.
Right.
And then you're putting stuff in the circle using some other layout.
No, right. That's how I do it in HTML. I'd have like a div and then another div inside, and
well, that's it.
Okay, right. All right, I'll play with this. I gotta move those around.
So don't forget to commit your code because you changed some things.
I'm gonna save it. Is there any way to commit in the in here, like in code?
Not in there, but in the Git interface now, it's more extended. And if you would download the
This?
very latest Git, the very latest GT, then you would have a new tool.
A new tool. The very latest. I just downloaded it like an hour ago. All right.
Yes, but
I can do it in here.
life is lots of things happen in parallel. But yes, you can do it here already. So this is just working at the level of the inspectors.
Okay.
So you have that. You get
And
you can commit.
check.
Yeah, you have to say.
Oh,
what.
that's a, oh, I see. It's a text input.
Nice.
Yeah, add name with bad layout. Okay. Boom. All
And then
right.
you push.
Push. Okay. Yay, up to date. Cool.
Then it's
Nice. All right.
Eric, I gotta just react. I mean, I think that's like super cool what you've done. It's just
Thank you.
I saw that over the holidays. That was freaking amazing.
I want to get it to where you can actually put planets and watch them move around each other.
Was a little disappointed that I didn't see that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when you will start to see that the having an element, a container that has everything inside
Yeah,
is going to start to play an interesting role.
right.
The plants are going to drag all its descriptions with it as they orbit the
Yes,
sun.
that would be so cool.
Hey, just real quick. So, like in the Dan Ingalls Smalltalk history of programming language, like one of the things that blew me away was like when they had the little bug crawl over the flow layout newspaper text and the words moved away from the bug.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I mean,
It's just a.
in other words,
it's just some. That's what happens when you have a live layout.
so you have like a newspaper. I mean, I was trying to find the video, but it was like 2 columns of text that auto flowed.
Yeah.
And then you had this thing that lived outside of the word processing window.
Mhm.
When it went over the top of that window, the words moved away from the thing. I mean,
Right. So
yeah, I mean, I just, I think that was surprising to me because you're not used to things when they go
Something
over the
comes from
window.
outside.
no,
Yeah.
you're not used to because they are not in a single. You have lots of black. You're used to black boxes in black boxes.
Yeah.
And so when I have something there and something else comes, it's in a different box somewhere else, different world, and then they don't mix and match.
Right.
But if it's just the same space, then you can start doing things like that.
So I mean,
So-
that's a thing that I've wanted to do is like write one of those layouts, those live layout engines that, I guess I've heard it's as simple as like move closer to the character on your left until you're, until you're close
Yeah,
enough. And then
it's-
if you're over the line, then you like go to the next line and like,
Yeah, and the layout is going to apply
there's like 3
itself every
rules in the
60.
whole. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it will apply itself 60 times per second, and then you get your animation, and that's pretty much it. So
Okay.
So, wait, so
I know,
like conceivably, Eric could, in this little solar system simulator descriptor, something else enters the scene, or when overlaid in the scene, the plant would move around, or some sort of hit detection. It would skip over the object or something, right? That's what
you've seen too much. Don't look up, I guess.
I've seen what?
The comet is coming at the Earth.
Yeah. But so okay, let me just. What I heard was,
It's an emergent behavior of the rules.
yeah.
There's some rules that each character is following. Try to stay with your word. Try to get, close to the character to the left of you, but not too close. And if your word wraps or like leaves the margin or enters into the margin, then the whole word should go to the next line.
Yeah.
And if you're too close to anything, move back. There's like all these little rules, and then you make something else walk across it, and those rules are saying like, oh, isn't too close, I'm gonna
Right.
move back.
And what I heard Tudor say was
Yeah.
that it's all one scene. It's not the word processor owns its scene. The bug owns its scene. It's all one global scene.
So that's why this one here is so. So here you have this idea of one rendering tree, right? So anything you see, every word in there is in the same rendering tree. The trick is also how do you make it flex or fast enough?
Yeah.
Because one rendering tree is super flexible, but how do you make it fast enough? So that's where the work was. But like there used to be a time when you only had the technology on your computer, right? So there was just a graphical effect.
Very cool. Eric,
yes.
I would love to. I mean, I too share your fascination with that.
But even the so those demos were really interesting, but they wouldn't necessarily be up to the speed at which you might be wanting today.
Right.
So at the time it was enormously exciting, but yeah, so you'd still so building things out of the little, everything is a single character on that scene, and how do you make that one work? That's I think it was a super exciting thing because nobody was doing things. Everybody was just drawing stuff on screen. So having little objects that you can play with and manipulate with the same rules that you are just laying out everything else is very powerful, basically.
So the text layout in these text things, that's using some other layout. Is that using like
here
the underlying Skia stuff?
No. So you can actually, so you can, if you go to if you do a shift search, so, or let's see which one, shift, if you do a shift enter for one rendering tree as in separate words, one space rendering, that one. And that's a slideshow, so I can, So here, do paint, for example, here, and resize and rotate. That's actually a text editor. So just put the cursor somewhere and then press left and right.
Oh, it didn't keep the.
It doesn't keep, but just move with if you move with the character with the cursor, it will continue to
sure, right. The lines are still there. Sure.
So and all of those are just objects. So if you now go to the next slide.
So each word
and
is
even selection would work, for example, here. Right. So if you now do here, show tree. So here on the left, you see at the bottom, you actually see the rendering tree. So how the editor on top is made out of, the elements it's made of. So you can see, for example, that the box here is just another element which is treated exactly in the same tree as the word is. The cursor is an element, the space is an element.
Right.
They are just laid out according to a layout, and that's it.
Right.
Of course, we wanted to make the layout reasonably fast. So that's a challenge. And then the whole element has lots of logic in it. So reuse things and make it work so that we can go through, I don't know, 2 million lines of text.
Right. So if I do add stuff in here, is that?
And yeah, you can do show tree.
Okay. I thought it was going to show me here.
Well, we didn't do that, live. But we can.
Yeah. Okay. And if I hit space, it should make that a separate word, right? Yeah. Okay. And so there's probably, what you're saying is there's logic, like as you hit like enter, that's going to make a third segment. Okay. Got it.
And that's what the one rendering tree, this is how the editor inside is made of. So every one of
Mhm.
those words in this case is going to be an element, the cursor is an element, the space is an element, arbitrary things are elements.
Is there like a string or something that is all the text?
Sure. So let's do that now. Then so let's go back to a playground, and then let's just do a Control Alt Shift click in there.
Control.
So take one with some words in it. Yeah, or take one that is larger maybe.
Larger. Okay, this one.
Yeah, for example.
Oh, look, I can click on individual words.
Yeah, so this one actually gets you to an individual word, right? So you have,
Uh-huh.
you see, I have the editor over here, and then
Right. And then there's a bunch of lines, the segment elements.
the segments, exactly what you've seen. And then we have text element with cursors.
Oh, so you can add, that's what draws the cursor?
Right. No, those
Ah.
are the elements that can have cursors.
Uh-huh.
So, and you can have cursors, right? So multiple is already made to work with multiple of them. But so take a look at the editor here on top, right? You were saying, can I have access to the string?
Oops.
The
Wrong.
editor here.
No, I know. I'm sorry. I see the triangle. I wanted to see it. Why does that show up? So look at the editor. Okay.
Right. So the editor here, look here, there's something called a text string. So that's actually, so now you're in a at a different level, right? So before you were looking at elements, and now you were saying, well, what's the data structure? How do you keep the tree so that it's fast enough? So this is a rope data structure, and this is what you're now visualizing. So you can click on any of these. For example, the yellow dots there are attributes, and they set different things. That's what we used when we have actually built the system. So this is how we drove our own visualizations.
Okay, so that's how you can set the different fonts at different levels in the rope. And oops, I should have clicked on it over there.
But so again, like the point here is we took from somewhere we knew, and now we just flipped, and we're just going at as much meta as we want, right? And it's just the same things.
So you have so just like whatever Dan Engel showed was a single rendering tree. GT also has a single rendering tree.
Right, but in this case is also we were particularly interested in making it performant.
Yeah.
So how do you handle not only super flexibility, but also large size? Right. So this is the reason why we can have the triangles being added as we type. And then when you expand them, it just adds an arbitrary artifact in the middle of the text.
So Google probably has 200 people working on that to make the DOM fast.
So so we actually built this whole graphical stack just because we wanted to break the editor so that we can expand things.
Mm-hmm.
And
cool.
that's why we didn't want to use a black box editor,
right,
for that. So, but anyway, so that's the idea. And the same thing applies to visualizations. So if you see a bar chart of sorts, you can just, it's going to be part of the same visual, the same DOM basically.
Cool. I have a hard stop at the bottom of the hour. Could I? Think I was where Eric was, where I can't find my code. What if I can get at some point?
Yeah. Okay. Why don't you share and I'll.
And how about before I do that, Eric? I mean, any reflections or like, what's the big deal? What's so interesting? What's the problem?
I feel like I'm getting better. It has been about, I guess, 3 weeks since I've done any intensive work on it. And I think, just having time for my brain to like sort through all this stuff is helpful. and I'm starting to get the layout stuff a lot more. I've just did my best. Like, I don't know what I can put it in a place, and now that was very helpful to have a little help exploring the layout. And I think that's going to help dramatically with what I want to do with this. Although I'm still worried about when I actually do, like, you know, in the atoms example, you have to place them, right? Because you're simulating
Yeah.
physics.
If you,
and stuff.
but right, but there you know what you're doing, and you're
Right.
confining them to the exact size, which is still something you can do here.
Right. And I'm a little concerned. You know, the solar system's really big. There's a lot of empty space. And so I don't think I'll be able to put it all in one thing. But if I could just have, like, I don't know, a planet with a bunch of moons, you know, like something like that.
A notional representation.
Yes, exactly.
And by the way, for what it's worth, I probably got about 20% of what you did. And I felt pretty good 2 sessions ago when I was able to render the images. And I feel like you've so far surpassed me. I'm blown away by the
Well, I
two
mean,
things.
it's
One is like
only
what
like-
you've done, and
It's
to
less than 100
proficiency.
lines of code, I'm sure. It's not very much. I just happen to have something worth looking at.
That's cool. And in fact, it'll be. I think you'll laugh at where I chose to spend my time. And by the way, your proficiency within GT is just also admirable. It's cool.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Desktop one. Been taking notes in our Slack channel of like little handy keyboard shortcuts and the queries you're making. Oh, and can you share your repo and make it either public or share it with me? And I'll put my GitHub ID in the Slack channel, and I'll do the same. Oh, by the way, I actually found the Dan Ingolstock. Like when that yellow circle, the text moved away from it. It just
It's really
was
beautiful.
It was really amazing. And I'll be honest, I did not realize that. What do you call GT? Glamorous Toolkit? Is there a shorthand? G Toolkit? I know you.
GT.
GT. I did not realize until this moment that there was a single. I've heard it, but I didn't internalize what it truly meant, that there's a single rendering tree. That's cool.
We wouldn't have thought that we actually have to build a graphical stack in the 21st century, a 2D plus graphical stack, right? So it's the world in a very strange state.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I'll show you. Let's see. Let me just mentally organize myself. 45 minutes. Here, I'm just going to take some notes. Get code in GT again. Show portal revelations and recursive descent parser. Okay. Oh, and then what is it called? It's called data viz or graph viz. Okay. All right. Get code in GT. So I used I couldn't find my code, so I went into the snapshot and
no, wait, where do you think your code is?
I think my code is in here.
It's not, you didn't commit it to Git.
No, it did. I forgot, and then it disappeared.
Okay, then it's probably here. Yes.
Yep.
So you need to go and look at the filters here.
Oh, filters, clean filters.
No, show only latest changes.
Oh, dang. Okay, and then
now
I do
if you say Control A, Command A, yeah, and then right click.
right click. I did that. Apply. Previous empty.
It looks like you've already have them.
But
Is it possible? Can you quickly look for?
Yeah, I still have GK test recursive missing.
I don't know where that one is. So
So I go into the,
can you maybe scroll here at the
oh, sorry.
scroll in there to see. Scroll
Here?
in the list of changes, yeah, just to see. So these are the classes,
Yep,
GT
GK.
test resource.
Yeah.
So it's probably there, but let's make sure that if you go now here, in this other
Yep.
plate, yeah, and just put the space here just to force a restyle, because this one didn't
Oh.
know that it has to restyle.
Oh.
No, here, in this snippet here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, got it. Okay,
So
fantastic.
it's there. Okay,
Okay,
but now you want to commit it, right?
Yeah, so I go into
GitHub.
here.
But you don't have yet, you didn't commit anything to Git, did you?
I did.
Can we go to GitHub just to see what you have there?
Yeah, for sure.
That's funny. But you search for that and Glamorous Toolkit came. Why is that?
I don't know. Hang on.
GitHub.com, and then without the main SRC, I guess.
Having to use a new keyboard. I'm having some trouble with my hands.
Okay, so you have something, SRC, what's in there?
Yep.
You
So it
can
has
to quit, right? So that's the tweet, the tweets, the tweet examples.
right. So I need the GK
And
test recurse.
Can we quickly go here just to make sure that we have everything we want? And yeah, click there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that, yeah, you're that one. So what I think the simplest thing to do would be to load this one on top of what you have and then apply your changes.
Okay,
Then
got it.
you'll
So
get the, yeah, don't select. If you select, it's not going to work.
Roger
Yes.
that. Oh, I hit Command G. And,
Yeah, it's good. Should load it, hopefully.
Okay.
Well, something's funny. It's funny here. Learning Git Toolkit. Can we go here quickly just to?
Yep.
Okay, baseline of learning Git Toolkit. Well, actually, you did that. You did the round trip once.
Yep.
You did the round trip. So something is really interesting. Here you press Command G because like there's no way this one takes so long.
Yeah, I did Command G and it's not coming back.
Something is. Let's close this one and just open a fresh GT.
Yeah, I wasn't brave enough to delete the none. Okay.
And now yeah, exactly. So you can find, yeah, and you should do this. So something's still wrong, and I'm curious what is in your local folder of the Git
Should I just
Pharo local iceberg. Yeah, I would just delete this, or I would just delete the whole iceberg, but
roger that?
something is really, yeah. Meta channel.
Oh, my.
You're looking for pages.
Okay, now try again.
Wait. Oh, okay, great. So now it works. And so this is how it should be. I don't know exactly what happened in the what you have on the disk
Okay.
and so. But basically, you open GT, you run this thing, and now you have your code. And now you want to apply the changes,
Yep.
if there are any. And
Um,
next time you're gonna.
so how do I
use
check in my?
Git. So first, now you want to take the changes from those that were just saved on the disk, like you were doing before.
Yep.
And trying to reapply it on top of this
Yep.
one, because now you have the Git project set up, and now you're just going to say these are new changes, and then you're going to commit those.
Yeah, and now I want to
So you
add.
need to go. Now you want to go to the code changes from
Oh, I gotta do that again. Yes.
Morphic.
Morphic world. System.
That's in sources.
Thank you. Changes
Mhm.
here.
And probably it's going to be the one below it. This is your current session.
Oh,
And this is the code that you've just loaded now. So you need to look at the probably two before. I guess this is the one.
okay. And
So I would just apply, yeah, all of them,
uh-huh.
or just no, show only the latest changes to make sure. And now Command A all of them, and then
Confirm. Oh wait, and here.
Yeah.
Confirm all changes.
okay. Now, now you should. I think here in this version you still have to load GT for. Like you should spawn this one again, this tool.
I'm sorry.
Open the Git tool again.
Again.
In the latest version, it would work better.
Okay.
Git.
Yep.
Oh, but that's in a different package apparently. So go
Yeah.
in there.
Oh.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would still put it in the. I would put it in the GK2 tweet package.
Okay.
So you have a new class. I would go and search for. What was it? Test? No.
GK test recurse. Wait,
There you go. So Shift Enter, recurse. Enter. And notice how it's in the package called GK instead of GK2 tweet. So I would just expand this. Wow, this is actually an old version of GT.
Oh, I thought it was.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We can just come. So expand.
Yeah.
No, so go to in here again in your class. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now expand.
Oh, expand.
Yeah, and now it becomes editable. So you can say instead of here in the package, you double click on it and say GK2 tweet.
Got it.
Yeah, GK. Yeah, funny. Control space to trigger it again.
Control space. Okay.
Enter.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and now accept.
Oops.
Okay.
Do I need to do that?
Yeah. So
Okay.
you see, notice that how there are no modal dialogues in the design of GT.
Okay.
So everything is going to be tied to the action that you're doing. Everything is going to be contextual. So, okay, now you have this. Now, if you go back to your repository, can we, maybe, I don't know if this, yeah.
Okay.
So now it says there are changes here.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, good.
And now you can commit.
Do I need to do anything?
Yeah, you can commit. Okay, and then you push. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. You need to be authenticated to push. How do you do it on your machine, Eric?
SSH add.
You did this SSH add, right?
Yep.
Have you ever? I think you've done that one last time.
Yeah, I can't.
I just do, yeah, SSH add, and it asks for my password. Yeah, that's it. Should work.
What? That's it?
Well, you can.
Yeah, because you last time you saved it in your keychain.
Okay.
No? Hmm.
But basically, it's now in your local repository on disk,
Okay.
and it's committed on disk.
All right. Good.
Now you just need to go from your disk to GitHub.
Okay, I'll do that later. I'll just go into the directory and push manually.
Yeah. Don't.
Okay.
But deal with this, because this one you want to add this one once.
Totally. Oh yeah, I don't want to be so afraid of GT closing GT. So
Yeah.
okay, so let's see here. Agenda. And I'll share. In fact, let me just share this with you right now. Oh, it's public. All right. Good to know that. I didn't know that. Get code in GT again. Show portal revelations. Oh yeah. So Eric, something you said that kind of struck a chord with me is kind of like raising your expectations, how quickly and early you can get visualizations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually have started using something called Portal for closure.
Okay.
And you had the author on your podcast, but yeah, just real quick. What am I doing? Do I have a portal window here? Oh yeah. So this is actually great. I actually wrote a Vega script to quickly take like 5,000 data points that I had shoved into MongoDB over 3 years. I never actually knew what it looked like. And so it took me 5 minutes to write this query to essentially write a Vega data representation and then just tap it out.
Oh, cool.
And something else that kind of surprised me over the weekend is Portal I was actually shocked that I could actually give it a whatever the return result of what is this? Oh, it's up here. I took the result of HTTP GET and I was shocked that Portal can because it's just a web browser, could actually render the stream or whatever that happened to be a PNG file. So that was pretty interesting. So one thing that Tudor you've done and Eric is kind of elevate my expectation of like being able to see the data. So even in Clojure and IntelliJ,
Yeah.
right, there's a way to quickly render stuff in a browser in the REPL. Super cool. So that's
Nice.
already changed the way I work. So if you're not using it, Eric, you should.
Okay.
And that's what that's why we're saying that GT is an education platform first and foremost, right? So you want to see how far does it go? Because if you see that it can go this far, then you say, well, I could do it somewhere else. And at the end, the technology is there to show what is possible. Of course, we want to make the technology as adopted as possible too, but whatever we do, the only thing that can possibly survive is the way of thinking. And the only worry here is how do we prevent people to chop the thinking and only preserve some shiny things?
Yeah.
That's an unsolved problem, but
yeah.
We've seen this one happening many times before.
For sure. So that was super cool. So then the other thing that happened over the holidays is I was trying to build out some of the tooling that I'm writing around the book. And the problem I chose something I've always wanted to do is visualize the, I think I showed this last time, was the, where am I changing in the manuscript? And so,
Oh, like a history.
did I show this to you? Sorry if so this is like a visualization of a Git repo for, I think, the Python repo. So I wanted to write this. And
Oh, wow.
and so what I want to do is take this markdown. I have this for most of the manuscripts I've written over the last 10 years, dreaming of the day when I could write this. So I wanted to write a recursive descent markdown parser to basically render this graph. And it took me a week to learn to write my first recursive program. And let's see if I can show it to you. So I'm just getting reoriented here. So I look at what Eric's built that has, and I'm like, geez.
You have the recurse here, right? That's one. That's what you're looking for.
Sitting,
This one here, I guess.
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, no, but I had a playground. G marked doc, maybe that's it. No, and where is it?
You can maybe search for GK test resource. And there's a page which is called GK Markdown here, right?
Thank you. Okay, yeah, so
okay.
so yeah, I use
you
a
have
little
a
parser.
stream.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that's, you've already taken the parser.
Yeah.
And now you then you took the ASD, so you can inspect that. Right? So inspect the delete or command delete there. Right. So inspect this, command G.
Oh, command G. Right.
So here you have your header.
Yep.
You have your, and this is the ASD, and this is the source code here.
Yep.
Now,
stand by while I move some windows around here. Okay. So then let's see here. AST is the parser.
No, AST is the result.
AST is the result, right? And so I'm expecting to see a
wait, can you go here in the Explore? Right, that one too. But can you go in the Explore because it's easier to see?
Oh yeah.
So just click somewhere here. Or there, right? Yeah, click. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
You will select it in the tree. So this is an interactive way. If you want to understand the parse tree, this is how we're doing it.
So I just want to prove to myself that I could iterate through it and print the string. What am I doing here? First nodes at, I want to see if I could understand it, find a header node. Eric, this is what I want to share with you. So the when you have is it an ordered collection, you have remove first.
Yes.
So
or you can, but remove first is one with side effects. But if you want to program more functionally, you can say all but first.
Oh,
all. Okay. So, yeah. So what I.
Right. So you're making a copy and removing the first. I gotcha.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Writing your own.
Yeah. So
all but first. Okay.
Yeah. Can you just quickly, you can search for it and say how it is implemented. All but first.
It's all.
But capital B, of course.
Yeah. All but first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You're missing a dot here.
After the remove first.
Period. I mean a semicolon.
Yeah, a period.
Period.
Wow, this semicolon.
It's been a while.
I know.
It's been 3 weeks for me as well. Okay, so then I
Yeah, parts you didn't. There's no AST parts,
oh, yeah.
or you can
So where
no,
let me see if I can reconstruct
AST
my
parts. New AST. All right. Okay.
yeah.
You don't need the copy, right? So with all but first, it does the copy for you. So
Awesome.
if you search for it, Command M, you will see that that's exactly what it does.
Perfect. So what am I doing here? Oh, right. So I'm learning about ordered collections. Oh, and then I need this thing called GKMD node. All right, where did that go?
That's probably one of those changes that didn't make it. So you probably want to search through some older changes. It's not here.
Yeah, GK test
No.
markdown doc.
No, not there. Still not there.
Not. So we're going further backward in time.
So it's not in these changes.
Okay, I lost it. Wait, what? Yeah. Oh, drafts. So what I was so the problem with this representation. Parts, items. Wait, what did you have me do to? So what was the view that you had me do?
Oh
wait, no,
you
new
were looking.
AST.
You were looking at the AST. If you're inspecting the AST,
Yeah.
but you need to inspect the AST.
AST.
So which is the this one here.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. So what I so there's one other thing I want to show. So in my book writing, I'm using GraphViz to generate this graph. And so this is the kind of a JavaScript front end to this. So part of me was thinking, all right, maybe I use Clojure to generate kind of dynamically this, but I would love to generate this representation inside of GT.
Yeah.
So where my head went to was I need to do a recursive descent on this. So to generate the tree representation, that was what was in this. It was in the, I would recursively go down the list, consume the list, and generate a tree that would then be able to render itself just like what Eric, the thing that caught my attention was the flow layout, right? That could connect the AST nodes.
So here you want, this is a graph, right? So for this one, you would use a graph layout.
Graph layout.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting enough, we actually have a dot parser.
Oh. Okay.
So we can take the source code that you have.
Yeah.
Or maybe some of it, because maybe it's not complete.
I don't think it's
some of
relevant.
But we can take that one and at least do this, generate the same graph in GT.
Oh, interesting.
There's a dot parser.
Oh,
actually
so
called dot parser.
Got it. Okay, so that way I wouldn't have to recursively.
You don't have to build a dot parser. No.
I don't have to build. Well, I wasn't suggesting building a dot parser, but I thought I would at least have to generate a graph. Actually, I don't have a graph.
So
I have
first
a tree.
you have a tree, right? So you're gonna have it's gonna build a tree. The dot parser builds an abstract syntax tree of the dot specification. And afterwards, you still want to do something with the dot specification, maybe build the graph, for example.
Yeah. Okay. Where my head's at is I don't want to build a dot representation. I want to parse the markdown, just turn that into a tree.
Sure. That's also possible.
Although maybe building a dot.
The thing that you So, so what would you, so you want to have here that the header nodes, right? I guess.
Yep.
You want to make it that the header nodes are one below the other or something like that.
Yep, exactly.
And would that be the tree that you're looking for?
Exactly. So in the code that I had written, if it was the same level, create a sibling. If it was greater than my level, then build a child.
So you said that you have to leave. We can either do it now, but it probably will take 15 minutes or so to try something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I should actually go.
But right. So we can take this one as an exercise for next time.
Yeah. So based on what you've
Because it's an interesting exercise. It's about traversal and it's about building a graph representation.
Cool. Hey, Eric, can you go 10 more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you
At
need
the
to.
bottom of the hour.
Okay.
So based on what you've heard, okay, so you're encouraging me to build the tree.
Mhm.
And then do I need a graph layout tool or can I just use any layout tool?
Yeah, you need the graph layout tool, but first you want to build the data structure.
Yeah, I almost
And
was
data
there.
structure.
I thought what I
Maybe,
had was a
but
tree. Yeah,
can
right.
Right. So let me see. Maybe should I try my own? Would you like that, or do you really have
let's see here,
time?
Eric. Let's see here. I think we need to do two things: schedule next session, and for me, this would be a genuinely exciting project for me. It's like building this representation, and some of it I think I can do myself. So I'm open to.
Can I make a suggestion though?
Yeah.
This is kind of I've tried to write markdown parsers before, and they're very hairy.
But I'm using their markdown parser.
We already have one.
Oh,
Right? So.
okay.
So all I
right.
need to do is
You just have the AST.
yeah. I just
Okay.
now I have to build a tree representation of it, which I
Like a visualization. Is
um
that what you want to do?
yeah. In order to build a visualization, I have to turn this into a tree representation, which I had done almost, at least proved to myself that I could do it over the holidays, but I'm missing the code I was going to show off.
Okay.
So
I'm sure that the code is somewhere in the other folders of GT that you played with.
okay,
The folder that you played with, you're showing me now, is older than.
okay, I'll look for it, and I can retype it. No problem.
Yeah. So should I try?
Yes, absolutely.
To take this one as an exercise?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, then let me.
Eric, you're supposed to reciprocate by being wowed at what I did.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. That's really. How did you find the markdown parser?
I asked Tudor in Slack. I was like, should I use the Smack parser? And he said, no, we've already got one. Use.
Okay. No, that's cool.
I'm just doing something here, and you just want to see. Right now, we just want to take something, right? So I'm gonna look at parts, and I'm gonna say I want to look at this header. The first header. So what is it? Is it the header node, right? So which one is it? This one, I guess. Yeah. Is it this one? Will this work? No, this doesn't work.
What's //
Wow, magic. So I can take a look here. This is right. This is a spark. So this is a parser. Now we haven't built our own parser. We use a parser engine, right? So which means that now I'm looking at the node. So that node must have something common. Like there are utilities to
Yeah.
parse the
Actually,
AST. So I
we've
need
got,
to find those.
12 minutes. So ignore my questions. I'll if it detracts us, I'd love
Why
to see how
not?
far you can
No,
get.
but that's good. So and then here we can start to see because the ASTs here or the traversals are here somewhere,
Yeah.
right? And I can see, oh look, there are these GT SMAC queries, which I don't exactly know what they are. This is a name. I don't know how this one is being used, but okay, because we have this, we're using this in a number of places. So, yeah, I'm just doing the wrong thing. So it's this one, this is the at, so that's going to be a property inside of it. Let's actually look for this one. It's much more interesting. So we're going to look at the node query. I guess there are none of it. Yeah, let's query result. So this one takes a name and does, okay, so that's each matches a class by name. So I guess I should put here something like this. Yeah, that's much better. So this one gives me recursively all of the headers. So this would be one way of doing things. But another way of
So you just
doing
walk
things
the whole
would-
tree right now? That's
yeah, well,
what you did.
this
You
one just
traversed it?
says, yeah, just give me everything that you find in this case. But this is not so nice. We could. So the question is, we basically need to build a graph structure of that where I have header 1, header 2A pointing to header 1 here. So look, what could we do? We could, I'm just thinking. I would like something else. So we could actually do it with a nice traversal. I'm quite sure of it. But I need to think a little bit about that. So, no, not this one.
Oh, you're doing that. So
it's my personal, that's what I was looking for. So
I just
I'm
consumed the
saying-
list.
Right, but so here we probably, I don't think we have enough. Because if we would have a traversal that will stop the first time it finds a header, skipping everything in between, then this would be good enough. This is how we could produce that. Alternatively, we can do the other way around. We can start from the leaves and then build the relationship to the parents. So, which is probably, it's not so elegant, but so mapping, we're gonna have a mapping here between the AST nodes and so AST to graph. I don't know. So we just have header to header. That's gonna be, we don't even need that. It's just an ordered collection, basically. Actually, it's quite simple, maybe. you'll be very lucky. So if I'm gonna see here, what was the name of it? Le header node, right? Le header node. And so here in the le header node, right? So if I look at this one, this one has, oh, I see. So now I have an issue here. Yeah, I can't escape. I have to build a visitor. There's no way around that. Basically, because I need to now traverse this one in order and then keep track of the current header. If the next header is lower than that, then I will build a connection to it. And if not, yeah, there's no other way around.
By
So
the way, does it pre-compute? So I had to count the number of hash signs. Is that already in the parse tree?
Yeah, so right second, like if I'm here, I see this is the header node.
Yeah.
And I can see in the header node that I have this one, which is number signs.
Oh.
It tells me that there are two of them, right?
Oh, got it.
So the number size and this one, the
Okay.
number size is just one of them.
Ah, got it.
Right. So I guess that if I look at the header node, it will tell me header level. So it simply says
Header
number
level.
sign size and give me minimum 6. So, okay, we have header visitor here. I'm going to create a class, and the class of this, I have to go and find it. So we need some sort of a visitor. So let's actually take a look here. I'm sure there is some sort of a content visitor. I guess that's the one. I can see here code block and external link. That should be the one. So the superclass here is going to be this, and this is tutorial. Okay, I'm doing this, and then I'm saying visitor. What is it here? Is it, do I tell the visitor to accept? Yeah, it has that twisted thing. So if I say visitor accept AST, okay, so it kind of knows what it does. Great. So now I need to go and implement in visitor. And in the visitor here, I need to create a method which says visit header, I guess. Headers, and by default, we're just going to say visit header, header, right? And so that's the default thing. And of course, here, what we want is a header. What was it? Header level? I don't know what it was. Let's look at it again. Then look at this one, header node, header level, right? So I'm going to say here by default, this one is, yeah, let's do here. So I'm going to say a header level. If it's less, if it's higher than current, or no, headers, or current headers stack top header level. If true, then I want to add to the stack. I think it's push header. Right, so something of this nature, and if false, so if this is not, then I want something like I want to pop, and then I want a header. I want to current, actually, it's a nice one. If false, chuck, chuck, chuck. and then this. So I'm going to create this. It's going to be an instance variable here. Great. And of course, I need to initialize this. And then I'm going to say current. So I have to start with something. So I guess 0. And so I'm just going to say stack new. So, and here we have to say if, yeah, would be nice to actually have. We could just do a hack here. Header stack and just say push that, what was it? The header. Yeah, new. Yeah, we could just do something like this. Actually, let's see if this one works. Yeah, this works. So we have a stack with parts. So if I have, actually don't know how a stack works. Interesting enough.
Hey, I have a hard stop in 2 minutes. This is
Yeah,
great,
sounds
Tudor.
good.
Can we pick a next time to, do you want to shoot for 2 weeks?
We can,
2 weeks. I think
but
that's
now
great.
you started me. Yeah, sounds good.
Maybe same time as, so I'm just gonna make it for 2 weeks from now. I'll just duplicate the meeting.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep, that's good.
I will send out an invite before I jump on my next call. Hey, thank you, Tudor, and I can't wait to see where you take this. In fact,
It's going to be ready in about 5 minutes.
okay, that's good.
We're there. We just have to create the connections there. But yes, 2 weeks is fine.
Okay, super, super. All right, well, hey, happy New Year to you both, and looking forward to continuing this.
Likewise. See
Hey,
you later.
thank you all.
See you.
See y'all. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.